Hello everyone, welcome to Sosin IAS Academy again. Today's class we are discussing Economic Survey 25 to 26, the chapter Agriculture. In this chapter we are going to discuss the production of different crops, the schemes, initiatives and also the economic survey suggestions regarding the cultivation of different variety of crops and also the way forward for Indian agriculture. We are going to discuss a lot of schemes pertaining to agriculture across various themes like production, seeds, forward linkages and backward linkages, and the schemes which are introduced by the government is what is important for the exam for prelims as well as mains. So let us start our discussion. So the basic idea, we need to understand agriculture growth trajectory. Agriculture as one of the three sectors, its contribution is very important because 40%, more than 45% of people are still dependent, but we need to know the contribution of agriculture to GDP is 1/5, that is 20% it is contributing. Its productivity and production is increasing, but the value it creates when the goods are sold to domestic market or international market is not of that value when compared to manufacturing and services. This is the basic idea always we see in the agriculture. Apart from that, whichever crops we take, except that of oil seeds, pulses or millets, they have crop specific problems like dry land, irrigation, the different variety of seeds used for different crops. Apart from that, if we see for almost all the crops in the agriculture or agriculture sector as an entity, there are certain common problems. The certain common problems will be same for almost all different variety of crops. Whatever agriculture question is given, we know that there are some pitfalls in our Indian agriculture. Less productivity is one thing. Fragmented land holdings. Most of the farmers, 80% of the farmers own less than 1 hectare of the land. So productivity obviously will be very less, and there is no contract farming or there is no farmer producer organizations creating value. Now farmer producer organizations, contract farming and cooperative farming as the models are being institutionalized by the government in an incentivized based way. But in reality, their working and functioning is not that effective. Apart from that, there are market related problems. There are middlemen, there are traders, there are no property documents for the farmers. There are tenants. Lot of tenant farmers don't get the agriculture credit, and there are lack of extension services when it comes to supporting the farmers in the case of providing them valuable inputs. Though there are state level schemes, individually different states have different variety of schemes pertaining to production, pertaining to extension, pertaining to market reforms. But individual, on an average throughout India, if we see, the common problems are always same. Less productivity, fragmented land holdings, lack of mechanization, lack of technology, lack of use of proper irrigation facilities, especially climate related like sprinkling irrigation, drip irrigation. These are the common problems. Irrigation not with respect to construction of dams. Understanding? Okay, and there is one more threat apart from all these problems we are seeing, that is genetically modified crops that are coming to picture, the uses of it. And on one hand we are encouraging GM crops, and on the other hand we are also talking about organic agriculture, and there is a talk about sustainable agriculture. These are three different perspectives, but they all run on productivity versus climate sustainability. So how we are going to manage it is the question here. Apart from this, there are certain problems like how to make farmers to go for insurance. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Insurance is again the problem here. Okay, and lack of storage infrastructure, lack of warehousing infrastructure, infrastructure problems, transport related problems, and there are problems with respect to nutrients, seeds and nutrients like urea, nitrogen, phosphorus, where they are market distortive and they also impact climate, because phosphorus and potassium, we made it to the market, we linked the price of phosphorus and potassium to the market but not nitrogen, which makes people, the farmers, to use more nitrogen into the soil, which destroys the productivity of agriculture. Soil acidification will happen. It leads to lack of proper nutrients in the soil because of acidification, because of lot of chemicals, and all that chemicals lead to water bodies, which leads to eutrophication. Overall, there is lot of problems with respect to nutrients. So we are going to discuss these all different problems, what government have brought as missions or interventions, which interventions government did bring in, whether it is state or the center, and furthermore, what economic survey is asking the government to do, the solutions part. So it is like overall we are revising agriculture chapter theme wise again. Understood? Very easy. It is just you need to know the recent initiatives of different state governments, because agriculture is in the state list. Okay. So 5-year, let us start our discussion. Agriculture growth trajectory. That is 5-year average growth is 4.4% at a constant prices. Quarter 2 growth of 25 to 26 is 3.5%. Decadal growth compared to last 1970s to now, if we see last decade, the agriculture went on to grow leaps and bounds. It's highest compared to the previous decades. During Green Revolution, 3.56% growth compared to the previous decades, or average growth over 10 years within agriculture. This 3.19, 1995 to 2005, 2.43. It is a crisis period. There is slowdown in this period. 2005 to 2015, it is 3.42%. There is some recovery. 2015 to 2024 to 25, it's a highest grown. Why it is highest grown is because of various incentives of the government according to economic survey. Productivity increasing because of mechanization, fertilizers, and more area coming under agriculture. On the top of that, very important point is this growth is coming not just because of grain production or cereals, pulses, millets. This food grain production is not the reason. Livestock activities, horticulture, these increase has led to agriculture sector having the highest growth rate in the present decade. Okay, so according to economic survey, agriculture economy is structurally transforming from grain centric to diversified high value production, livestock, fisheries, aquaculture, horticulture, fruits, vegetables, floriculture, honeybees, bee cultivation. All these allied activities is what is making agriculture grow now. Okay, and also more exports is also one of the factor. So 4.45% decadal growth is driven by livestock growth, dairy expansion, poultry growth, organized animal husbandry. Fishing and agriculture, 8.8% growth. Crops, comparatively crops growth rate over a decade. I'm not talking about yearly growth rate. In a decade compared to previous decades, we are seeing it. Within growth of all activities, livestock activities grown well. Fishing and aquaculture grown at a highest level, and crops growth is less, slower than that of allied sector, but it is still forming an important base because we still export pulses, we still rely on importing of pulses, still export rice and wheat and also sugar to other countries in the world. So basically crops are still forming the huge base, but the growth rate, if you see actual production of fishes or livestock, production might be less compared to the crops. Suppose 100 kg of a crop has grown, but fishes might be only growing 80 kgs, but growth rate compared to the previous decades increased, and that is what is driving the decadal growth of agriculture, which is highest in the past decade. That is a basic point from this slide you need to know. Agriculture decadal growth is high, and among which sectors it is high? Livestock sectors in agriculture. These are basic 2 points you need to remember. You don't need to remember everything, okay, for your mains answer writing. Got it? You don't need to remember this percentages. Just remember 4.45. Livestock is driving that growth. Finished? So individual percentage increases were given here. You don't need to by heart, as I have told you. Gross value added expansion is 195%. Regarding fish, 140%. Food grain production increased annual yield or average yield. It has increased to 3,577.3 lakh metric ton. It is comparatively from the previous year, it increased to 250. It increased by 254 lakh million tons. Okay, lakh metric tons. Metric tons is what the on what we calculate the production of agriculture grains. Horticulture increased again, surpassed the food grains. Then India's global position, largest producer of dry onions, second in vegetables, fruits and potatoes. This are some of the ranks that we have in the first 3 pages of agriculture chapter in the economic survey. So it is better ignore this. Just write fish production, livestock production increased, food production in 24 to 25 increased compared to that of 23 to 24. Because we are not discussing budget here. There will be actual estimates. So we will have a proper calculation here. That's why we are talking about the financial year 24 to 25, not 25 to 26. Understanding? So horticulture production, it also increased. Just write increase or decrease. Don't write values, not required. Just write largest producer of dry onions, second in vegetables, fruits and potatoes. Okay? This much if you know, 5 points, it is more than enough for the exam. Productivity trends. Average annual growth rate exceeds global average 2.9. If you see global average of all the countries in the decade and their growth rate, India's exceeds 2.9 than that of global. Yield comparison shows gaps, but still, though we are growing, there are certain gaps in almost most of the food grain sector. What are traditional food grains that we grow? Millets, pulses, chickpeas, groundnuts, maize, the MSP that we provide for the crops, rice, pigeon, lot of peas, right? Cotton, for these crops, there are certain gaps and they stay even below the global averages. The reasons for it are pretty much same. Common reasons: irrigation problem, uneven growth, climate dependent still. Irrigation is not there and yet it is still climate dependent. There are vagaries of monsoons every year which is also driving the less growth compared to the world output. Okay, and moreover the fragmented land holdings, lack of insurance for the farmers, and also lack of food processing industries, because we are talking about food processing industries from the year 2017. Okay, so there is still time gap from all the efforts of government to take fruition. Now they are contributing, like food processing industries are creating employment, increasing the shelf life of the perishable goods which are agriculture goods. But at that point of time they are still new and we are basically taking the growth of a decade, growth rate of agriculture in a decade. So we need to remember all these factors. Okay, there are so many backward linkages before. There are no warehousing, cold storage facilities. These are perennial problems. Now we are trying to sort it out. And mostly the procurement reforms also, the private procuring and government sending the money into direct benefit transfer, price stockiest scheme, price deficiency payment scheme. There are 3 different schemes for MSP procurement of goods by the government. Understanding? So all these reforms came in the year 2018 to 2019. Okay, so we are taking the growth rate from 2015 to 24 and we are saying exceeds the global average of 2.9, but that does not mean it is taking only average growth of almost all the countries, poor, high income countries, the countries which are in the same position with that of India. So there are gaps in most of the goods. We still import pulses. Okay, but groundnut is the only exemption. Compared to all other countries, groundnut production in India is very well and it is more. Okay, so rice yields, there are various drawbacks or uneven geographical distribution for production. Production is not same among all the states. Rice yield, Punjab, Haryana, below national average. Which states are faring below national average? West Bengal, UP, Telangana, Orissa, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Only Punjab and Haryana produce the highest production. Okay, highest quantity of production with respect to rice. Per kg per hectare. How many kgs per hectare? 4,500 kgs per hectare. Wheat yields, again top performers are Punjab and Haryana. Reasons for low yields are again most of our agriculture, even now 45%, it still depend on monsoon. Then unseasonal rains and there is heat stress because of growing climate change is also one thing. El Nino impact on pulses, that is 15 of 27 El Nino years saw 2 to 9% acreage decline. El Nino, lack of rainfall, right? 6 to 30% production fell in the case of pulses and we are importing pulses from many years. So despite growth, productivity remains global average in which crop cereals, pulses, maize, oilseeds. What are the constraints? The same constraints: fragmented land holdings, irrigation gap, imbalanced fertilizer use. Imbalanced fertilizer use, the government economic survey is telling what is the average ratio, 4:3:1, that is what we used to study. Now the economic survey proposes 4:2:1 is the ratio that farmers need to use. Nitrogen 4%, phosphorus, potassium 2:1. But what farmers are using somewhere around 10:6:1. Like there are huge amounts of fertilizers, farmers are using. Okay, so low mechanization, weak extension services, and climate shocks. These are the basic factors. If you have already written, very good. Write the basic factors which says what are the for any question. These will be the common problems. Okay. Low investment. This is the one more factor. Both public and private. One more very important factor is public investments is more from the time of LPG reforms in manufacturing sector and also in the services sector. Okay, that is where the growth is coming from. Public sector investment declined from LPG reform. From the time of LPG reforms, we started giving importance to other sectors like industries and services. This is a common point, basic point we already know in our basic normal classes of economy. Okay, and private investments declined because people also don't want to invest. They are moving away from agriculture because they are not getting that much of return if they even invest in the soil enhancing, or if they invest in land mobilization, or if they invest more in the productivity of the soil. Okay, now if the farmers wanted to go for organic agriculture, the productivity from the initial 2 to 3 years, the productivity will be very less. Higher input cost will be there. You have to understand there is a difference between organic farming and zero budget natural farming. Zero budget natural farming means everything which is available in the nature will be used. Okay, the microbes, be it the waste matter, the leaves will be used as the fertilizer, as the compost. The vegetables that we generate in our homes will be used as a compost. They don't use fertilizers in zero budget natural farming. They use leaves from whichever tree it is. They use neem leaves, these kind of things in order to create productivity rather than using fertilizers like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. In organic farming, what they use is, they use somewhat costly compost, but they are naturally formed. Okay, they are naturally formed. They can be cow dung. Cow dung, you might think it is comparatively less costly, but apart from cow dung, they use neem oil, which is little bit costlier. So organic farming, zero budget natural farming, both are different. Organic farming still requires lot of money because in there cattle will be used. There many microbes can be used in the organic farming because they are natural. But in the zero budget, costs will be very less. Organic farming is still costly. And moreover, because of the cost of production, the prices of goods are also huge. Organic goods, whichever vegetable you take, organic vegetables are costlier. So people don't go for that. Okay. So limited input access, this quality seeds, there are a lot of spurious seeds. Spurious means fake seeds that are available in the market. So seed replacement is the problem. How many seeds we are saving? Seed banks are important. Seeds can be propagated through genetic engineering, through tissue culture. But which kind of seeds we are propagating? Natural seeds, or are we propagating that seeds in the lab and then we are supplying the low grade seeds for the farmers is very important. If seed quality is not good, where the crop quality will be there? So input costs are huge. Fertilizers not universally available. We import lot of our urea from the companies from other countries because it is cheap, because it is industrially made, and we directly give benefit to the companies. It means companies will be given money, but companies need to give that nitrogen fertilizer to a farmer at a very less cost, like 2 rupees, which is making farmers to buy more even without requirement. So economic survey says, let us bring lot many reforms. We will discuss those reforms. Extension service gaps. Extension service means there will be extension officers in every village who will suggest farmers what kind of crops to cultivate, when to cultivate. Suppose if they have certain problems like pests are there, what kind of medicines to be used, where they are available, what kind of schemes are available, what loans are available for farmers, suggestions they'll be giving. They'll be helping farmers in giving advices. Okay, these are extension officers who are state government employees. Okay, then soil degradation, that is a common problem. Inadequate infrastructure, we know these things. These are common problems we have in the agriculture. If you remember these 10 points, you can write agriculture answer. So livestock sector, agriculture, in the case of food grains, we did discuss common points. Performance metrics, livestock, it rised from the livestock industry. The gross value added growth at current prices, we are discussing 40,000 crore to 1,60,000 crore. Fishing and aquaculture also increased from last two decades. Agriculture and allied sectors also have increased. So compounded annual growth rate have increased in other sectors but not in the food grain sector. Okay, so why these sectors are growing? Livestock, fish production, compared to the food grain, why these sectors are growing at a higher rate? Awareness increase for whom? For farmers, for consumers to consume nutritious food. Pulses have nutrition, millets have nutrition, right? So livestock, fish, dairy, milk, meat, eggs, this production increased. White revolution, it is continuing its momentum, and poultry and egg production has increased. Government support have increased through breeding programs and feed availability. Private sector investment increased in these sectors like cold chains, processing. There are a lot of evolving businesses around these sectors like restaurants, food production in the urban areas, which is driving the demand in these sectors. Farmers are growing them like allied activities, and that is where the income is coming to the farmers, not from the food production. Okay, there is still supply and demand mismatch in the case of cereals, food. Okay, and that is the reason why we are importing some foods. What we are importing? We are importing pulses and oil seeds again, which is driving the import costs. But in these cases, because of increased demand, change in the behavior, preferences, taste preferences of consumers, that is driving the growth and investments in this sector. Okay. Fish production, again it increased. Blue Revolution programs, inland aquaculture expansion, coastal state initiatives, export demand, especially shrimp demand. Allied activities are now income diversification engines for farming households, not just supplementary activities. They have become necessary factors. Like mixed agriculture, because if the farmers rely only on one activity, there will be no proper income for the farmers. So they are turning to these allied activities. Horticulture, that also increased because of growing awareness for the people. Production increased compared to food grains. Production increased in the horticulture. Okay, for the first time it increased. Okay, so 24 to 25, we can see for the first time delete. delete, slide got deleted. Delete I think a slider. So we'll discuss it. Let us discuss the wheat yield patterns. So the main point is in 24 to 25, for the first time compared to the food production, horticulture production increased. Okay, the reasons for it are increased demand from the people again, and also the government incentives, and also increase in the storage infrastructure. Food processing industries also started increasing. That is the reason why the fruits production, vegetables production increased. Okay, so wheat yield patterns, the top performers here. So wheat yield top performers are Punjab and Haryana. Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, all India, it is less, 3,600 kg per hectare. Lower performers are Gujarat and Maharashtra. So in terms of rice, Punjab and Haryana. National average less. So despite being major producers, there are some states which are producing below national average: West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh and Telangana. So if we see compared to other sectors, horticulture or livestock, food grain production, especially the major ones, wheat and rice, have declined. Groundnut increased, that is what we have discussed. Why it increased? Several factors. Semi-arid regions, because of increased desertification, because of increased aridity in the, because of lack of rainfall in the rain shadow regions like Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, people always produce groundnut. So there are two crop cycles compared to other crops. Groundnut have two crop cycles. Improved varieties because of oil seeds research in India. Then there is National Mission for Oil Seeds that provide sustained support. Regional, we will discuss that oil seed programs. There is production which is concentrated in high performing states. So these are factors why groundnut has increased production compared to other countries in the world. Credit and overall we are discussing credit has improved in financial year 25. Nearly 29 lakh crore credit has been disbursed. There are Kisan credit cards issued for the farmers. Digitization of all records of farmers, land records, Aadhars, and their credit, credit accounts, how much loan they have taken, everything is integrated in Krishi Rin portal. That is regarding how we can provide loans, and integration of all agriculture data with respect to a farmer. How many acres he have, how much loan he has taken. Mechanization increased because many states are going for custom hiring centers. It means the farmers can form a farmer producer organization, okay, and they can go for a bank like an SHG. They can go for a bank with the support of government. They will take the money and they will buy the machines. On that, government will give subsidy, government will give interest subvention also, but still some amount of money all the farmers need to pool together, and they will buy machines for their own lands, whoever are part of that SHG. And what they do, they share that machine, and they also give the machine for the rent, and whatever the income they get, they will pay for the banks, and also they don't need to pay for government, they'll pay for the banks. But there is interest subvention. Interest subvention schemes have become more popular. What is interest subvention scheme? At normal rate at which the banks give the loan, the government will reduce that interest burden on the farmer. Suppose before it used to be 7%, now 3% subvention the government will give. 3% of money will be direct benefit transfer for the farmer, but he needs to pay to the bank. There is no transaction between bank and government. You pay whatever you want to pay to the bank, but I will give as a support from my end, which is that 3% interest rate over 3 years or 4 years till the term of the loan. The government will be releasing it as a direct benefit transfer. This kind of mechanism is what economic survey is talking about to implement in almost all schemes. Why? If farmers, in the last classes also we have discussed electricity benefit, in that also we have discussed, don't directly give money to the industry and industry providing goods to the farmers or consumers. Charge people at a rate, market rate, so that people will realize how much wastage of expenditure they are doing, and whatever government wants to give. Suppose if government does not want to give money for 10 quantity of goods, if it wants to make farmers to buy only 4 bags of fertilizer, only for that 4 bags of fertilizer, government will give direct benefit transfer for the farmer. You buy whichever how much ever bags you want to buy from the company. Suppose if a farmer want to buy 10 kgs of fertilizer, which is nutrient, he'll buy. But government will only give subsidy for the limit which government imposed, that is 4 kgs, based on the state, based on the area where farmer is residing, what kind of land he have. District wise there will be data, and based on that data government will be fixing how much I need to give as a subsidy, and that subsidy amount will be given to the farmer directly, not for company. Before what used to happen, how much ever farmers take, company will put the bill at the end of the day, and company used to collect the money. Farmers used to think, I can buy 10 or I can buy 20 kgs also, let me hoard, which is increasing the cost for agriculture. Agriculture is soils are getting deteriorated, acidification etc. are happening, productivity is declining because of that. In almost all schemes, economic survey talks about DBT. So custom hiring centers, again the same. So need collective models via farmer producer organization and primary agriculture societies. Economic survey talks exactly regarding primary agriculture credit societies. Primary agriculture credit societies are by the people who became a self-help group or an organization among themselves, and they form a cooperatives, and they take the loans from the bank, or they work as an organization, especially for which purpose? For credit purpose, giving credit, taking the loans from the bank. These are the basic purposes, to give credit. But primary agriculture societies or primary agriculture cooperative societies, economic survey says, not just in the terms of money. Primary agriculture credit societies need to be working for many other things, need to be working for not just giving loans. They can make market work, they can make cooperatives to form food producer organizations like that. So why can't we use PACS rather than for credit? We want to use it for multiple purposes. We will see that. We will see. There are more slides for it. So there is Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Krishi Vikas Yojana is regarding holistic agriculture growth. Krishi Sinchai Yojana is har khet ko pani, more crop per drop, irrigation. So it is not just irrigation, it is a holistic support scheme. It started in the 2007-2015. The scope is almost all the sector. Here it is irrigation. So states choose the projects based on local needs. States develop district irrigation plans for field level convergence. This is the difference between Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. The basic difference. The government will allocate money under this and the states need to get the money based on the projects from both the schemes. There are certain models the first economic survey talks about, which are the state models the government can replicate throughout India. The important reforms certain states bought, especially with related to governance, is Andhra Pradesh digital land titles via drone survey, that is integration of technology in agriculture or e-governance. Chaur land development for aquaculture. What is Chaur? That is wetland development. Wetlands are with water. Last class also we have discussed. A land with water is called as wetland. In wetland, there will be fishes, there will be grass, there will be lot of birds, there will be entire ecosystem like a pond which is built. Pond is entirely with water, but wetland is with land plus water. So it is important for farmers. Wetlands are important for farmers and regional people who are dependent on aquaculture. We have many wetlands actually, and we wanted to revive those wetlands. Environmental perspective, agriculture perspective also. So Bihar wanted to revive the wetlands, which are important as natural drivers to absorb floods, groundwater recharge also. Plus at the same time, they promote agriculture. They give incentives for farmers to increase their income because fishes will grow more in the wetlands. Okay, apart from rivers or ponds. Madhya Pradesh, Sauda Patrak digital platform, that is, we'll discuss that. Karnataka fruits platform. Assam, they started irrigation because irrigation requires construction of dams like that. But Assam, what they have done is, rather than going for bigger projects, they started doing rainwater harvesting. They started implementing this drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, which save lot of water. As Assam has lot of hilly terrain, so they can't do many projects. They started building canals like that to store the water, especially whenever there is a rain in the monsoons. So that is one important thing. These both Sauda Patrak digital platform or fruits platform is to integrate farmers while they are selling the goods in the market, like ENAM, National Agriculture Market. These are the state models which replicate NAM, National Agriculture Market, where digitally farmers will try to sell the products. So many people will come to buy so that they will get the better price, and transaction will be digitally recorded and government will give direct benefit transfer. Generally what farmer will do, he'll go to a APMC mandi, he'll try to grade the produce there, weight, quality, etc. There will be many traders and traders will pay the money. It is not well quantified, or farmer will be loser because traders used to get lot of money by selling the same good at a higher cost to the consumers, right? But here what is happening is every transaction is getting recorded and farmer's name is getting recorded, okay? And many buyers will come, so farmers will get a better price. That are state incentives we'll discuss. So Telangana cultivated area increased because of irrigation projects. Telangana economic survey is talking about Kaleshwaram project and canals, reviving of tanks, etc. We'll discuss those. So fourth agriculture roadmap. So Bihar is following a specific model that they have a certain, they are implementing, most of the states implement central sponsored schemes. In the case of agriculture or Ministry of Agriculture have different schemes implemented over many states. Apart from that, Bihar has a specific model to create roadmaps. Till now, 4 roadmaps they have created. The latest roadmaps talk about sustaining growth trajectory, climate resilience, digital agriculture adoption, FPO strengthening, processing infrastructure. So it is one, like, these kind of roadmaps should be replicated by all the states, because they'll get to know where they have reached and they can concentrate on different problems. Okay, that is just an idea how Bihar is doing its agriculture performance. Okay, in the first phase they concentrated on productivity from 2008 to 13. In third phase they concentrated on market linkages. Now they are concentrating on other things. It provides a continuous updation and revision of their targets, and they can concentrate better on streamlining the processes. Okay, and it creates accountability also, what government is doing with respect to agriculture. Okay, I think understood. We'll discuss this seed. Apart from that, Telangana, we have Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project. Is a world's multi-stage lift irrigation projects. It lifts water from Godavari river, interlinking. There are multiple barrages and pump houses. It is controversial because of geological concerns, but apart from it, it increased the area under agriculture by providing irrigation. Tank rejuvenation happened under Mission Kakatiya. These are models for all the states to follow by providing agriculture, how to increase productivity and also bring lot many areas under agriculture and also provide income incentives for the farmers. These are the schemes mentioned, state schemes mentioned in the economic survey. So what is the result of both these schemes? Cultivated area expanded by 2/3, multiple cropping intensity increased. Cropping intensity means on the same area of 1 acre, how many times you are cultivating different crops in a year is called as cropping intensity, which is called as net cropped area or gross cropped area. Gross cropped area is the land that the farmer have, he'll use every year. Net cropped area means in the same land how many times you are cultivating. Okay, so shift from rain fed to irrigated farming. Before, many farmers used to just depend on rain fed. Now they are depending on irrigation also. Higher value crops now viable because irrigation is available. So 3 intervention types work. There are other states which started doing something regarding irrigation also. Irrigation infrastructure, like ensuring water, this much water is available this year for farmers to do and cultivate this crop. So farmers, what they do, they know that okay, water is available, even if rain comes or not comes, let me cultivate this crop. They'll have better choice for the crops also. And crop climate matching, grow what suits the local resources. These are the interventions other states are doing, giving advices for the farmers what suits better for the water they have, what climate they have. Quality seeds, high SSR, seed replacement ratio, translates into the higher yields. Now we will discuss SRR, that is seed replacement rate, very very important, can be asked in the mains exam. Seed replacement rate means how farmers are replacing their seeds. Every year they need to replicate their seeds or buy new seeds. When they are using that seeds, from what kind of seeds they are using, that is seed replacement. Percentage of farmers using certified seeds versus farm saved seeds. Certified seeds means higher genetic purity, disease free, tested for germination. They can be tested for germination, growth, plant growth. Farm saved seeds are saved by the farmers themselves stored over generations. They can carry diseases. They are not tested in the lab, and they have mixed varieties. Okay, so seed replacement rate is the rate at which farmers are using certified seeds rather than that of farm saved seeds. The use of certified seeds is called as seed replacement rate. At which level, at what level the farmers are getting the certified seeds every year in their crop is called as seed replacement rate. Today they use seeds, they cultivate the crops, the seeds should be replaced in the next season. So how much certified seeds they are getting is important. Gujarat has their formula in order to do this SRR better. What is that? Strong seed multiplication infrastructure. They have good infrastructure. Gujarat model needs to be followed by whole India. So Gujarat State Seeds Corporation Limited played an active role. FPO involvement in seed distribution. Farmer producer organizations distribute the seeds which are certified by Gujarat State Seeds Corporation Limited. Financial incentives for certified seed purchase. Certified seed purchases can be costly because they are tested, right? They are tested, they are saved, they are propagated in the lab by the trusted one, that is state government agency. So financial incentives will be given for farmers rather than using cheap seeds, not getting productivity. So improving SRR across all states could significantly boost pulses productivity without any intervention. So especially in the case of pulses, this might be true, but for all crops also, SRR is important. Seed replacement rate with certified seeds is important. Gujarat has done well in this area. Seed sector interventions, we have some other initiatives. There is submission on seeds and planting materials. It was launched in 2014 to 2015. There are seed villages which are created. Quality seeds are produced. Farmers benefited are 2.85 crore. There are new initiatives in 25 to 26 budget. That is last year's. National mission on high yielding seeds that have been announced. The focus is on climate resilient varieties. The seed should be climate resilient, like drought resistant, pest resistant. Pests are increasing in the soil. Why? Because of temperature increase. When the temperature increase, pests will grow more. Bacteria, fungi, parasites, they grow more. They create many diseases. So we need to focus on integrated pest management. Integrated pest management means what? Pest management does not only come from using pesticides or chemicals to kill the pests. It also comes from growing seeds which are resistant. First of all, they don't catch any disease. It also includes following good practices within the soil rather than just focusing on cure. Focus on prevention. That is what integrated pest management means. Okay? Understood? Target 100 and in the integrated pest management, there are many incentives. There are many initiatives. In the case of genetically modified crops, in the GM crops, the strains will be included in a GM mustard or GM cotton. What is this GM cotton? There will be this this capability for the seed for the pest not to get attacked, for the pest not to attack the crop. Okay, like BT cotton. Understood? Bacillus thuringiensis. Okay, it will die automatically. So 100 plus new seed varieties for commercial availability is a target under National Mission on High Yielding Seeds. Strengthening research ecosystem, improve varietal replacement. So replacing is a better option. When we when we grow same seed, what will happen? Pests will adapt to that seed. Resistance will decrease. Disease resistance of the seed will decrease. Pests can easily attack. how much ever qualified seed it is. So we need to replace the seeds. Different variety of seeds need to come within rice, within pulses, which will increase the diversity, just like our medicines we say, right? Antimicrobial resistance, we are using same drugs, the pests, the microbes are adapting to the diseases or to the drugs themselves, and the drugs are becoming ineffective. I hope you understood. Persistent challenges within the seeds are there. Uneven progress across the states. Farmer reliance on old varieties or farm saved seeds. High cost for certified seeds. Limited access in remote areas. These are with respect to seeds. Andhra Pradesh Digital Land Records Revolution started in 2021. Technologies used aerial drone mapping, land mapping, continuously operated reference station, satellite based precision system. GIS is where land is geotagged on the map. Geographical indication is there on the map regarding the land, which is important, which will make government to know what kind of crops are cultivated, what is the area in a particular village, how much percentage of area is under cultivation will be knowing from GIS. Create tamper proofing of digital land titles. It is just like Telangana's integration, land modernization, like digital land titles will be created. Resolving boundary disputes. Land services, facilitating credit access. When there is no land dispute, people can ask for the credit by showing the land property as a detail. So how many villages covered as of 2025? 6,901. Land parcels again resurveyed. Boundary disputes also resolved. So this is one of the best example for other states. Bihar wetland agriculture, before I have discussed with you, they are treated as wastelands, but if we revive them, they can create aquaculture, which creates income support for especially women in the rural areas by not destroying wetlands, reviving them. So they are called as chaur lands. Government is focusing on that. Converting liability into an asset. Why it is liability? If they are thrown waste, mosquitoes will breed in that water. If they are revived for a better economy will create, the birds also will get the shelter or habitat. Aquaculture based production can be increased. So how many districts covered? 22. Nearly 2,000 hectares were under this program. So it's a community based management, SHG led model, because if you want to involve people into a particular activity, form them into the group, assign them responsibility. That is how community work can be done. Otherwise, you can't go to each and everyone and say, do this, do this. An incentive should be given. Otherwise, people don't do a particular activity. When the income will get generated, government can stop incentivizing them, because people will know what is the value of it. And they don't need to continuously provide them revenue expenditure, which is waste for government. Till people get adapted, give incentives so that they participate in the schemes, they know the importance of the scheme. So it is labor intensive. So people will get employment, and it is a protein source also. State provides infrastructure, private sector linkages also will be created for marketing. So it is not just involving people, whatever it is getting, that should be marketed. They need to get real income. That is one. Andhra Pradesh Farmer Trader Digital Marketplace, that is like eNAM, which is called as e-farm market. Farm market. Okay. Direct connection between farmers and traders. It's a digital platform. Village level touch points will be like every village, between the villages, this e-farm market will be there. Internet connectivity will be there. Lot of staff will be there, which will assist the farmers. The buyers can come there. The sellers also can go to that market. The weights will be proper. The quality testing systems will be available for a particular crop to decide at what rate they need to sell and they can buy. So it is like integration. Market is Integration between buyers and sellers. E means what? Technologically they are connected. Digitally the transactions will take place. Again, after transaction taking place, government will itself will provide transportation facilities. Suppose if I am saying I am coming to a particular place as a farmer and telling that I want to sell this, for that I am asking the weight will be ascertained, the rate will be ascertained, and the buyer will choose my product. But there should be transportation, right? Government will provide that transportation, and the money will be directly transferred to the farmer's bank account. Okay, so it's a quality assessed and graded system. Best price will be accepted by the farmer. It is like tender. It is like quoting. How many people want to buy, at what rates they want to buy. Logistics will be arranged by the state government itself. So wider buyer pool will be there. Farmers are not forced to sell to one particular person. Many people will come. Price discovery, competitive bidding. If 4 people need to buy, they will say what their price is. I will sell for whomever I want. Payment speed, because it is a digital transfer. Quality based pricing and assessment will drive the change. Okay. Transaction is not informal, because they are coming to that place. The transaction need to follow immediately, which is assisted by the government. So there is no delay in the payments for the farmers. Uttar Pradesh groundwater regulation. That is also the best model with respect to irrigation. It's the largest agriculture state because it is facing a lot of water crisis, because we know that rice, wheat and sugarcane is cultivated a lot here in many parts of Uttar Pradesh. So water table fell very below, and over extraction increased because of green revolution, quality degradation, arsenic, fluoride, which create lot of muscle atrophy among people, diseases. So regulations introduced by UP, that is commercial users need approval for extraction, groundwater extraction, NOCs for new bore wells. No objection certificates means if someone want to dig new, they need to take NOC from the government. It is a restriction. It is not like I am giving NOC now only. Groundwater zones will be created, like categorized as a safe, semi-critical, so that people will get to know like what kind of water will be available. Restriction in critical zones. Rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting means do afforestation in a particular area, so that water will seep whenever there is a rainfall. There should not be construction in that area. That is rainwater harvesting. Okay. Then groundwater recharge rose marginally, increased because of this effort in 2025. Also extraction intensity also increased, indicating partial effectiveness. It means people are extracting also, but there is groundwater recharge also that happened because of this. Regulatory approach alone is insufficient. Crop diversification is very important. Apart from this, we need to move away from water intensive crops to pulses and oil seeds. Pulses can be grown because they again give nutrition to the soil because of bacteria available in the pulses, like symbiotic bacteria, rhizobium. Okay, they convert nitrogen into ammonia in the soil and give productivity to the soil. So micro irrigation promotion, surface water infrastructure development like canals, tanks. That is what surface water is. Groundwater is underground. Surface water means tanks, canals, etc. Electricity price reform. Flat rate power encourages wastage. So when the subsidies are reduced and costs are increased for the farmers, they'll know the value of resources. Karnataka Fruits Platform, that is Farmer Registration and Unified Beneficiary Information System. This is mentioned in survey. It is not related to fruits. It is like ENAM, like what we have discussed in the case of AP. Single unified database for all farmers in Karnataka. Sorry, it's not marketplace, it is a data, like agri stack, we say. Integrated services will be there. MSP procurement, DBT, direct benefit transfer, crop surveys, insurance claims, input subsidies, extension services. So it is a farmer registration unified beneficiary information system. It means a portal is created, all farmers, their lands are put along with their Aadhaar cards. Each farmer, how much money under different schemes he is getting will be known. Each farmer, how many schemes he is eligible for will be known. So government can quantify what it is giving to every farmer, what benefits the farmers are taking. Everything will be integrated into one system so that whatever support government is giving can be tracked properly. Tomorrow if the government need to bring any changes, they can do it properly by integrating lot many services into a single platform. Okay, it is just like a measure of e-governance. Input subsidy. Suppose if a farmer is buying seeds from a government portal, how much seeds he have taken? It might be in the different system, but everything will be pooled together in the name of that one farmer. Okay, using the Aadhaar card, using maybe every farmer will be given an ID like that. Farmers registered is 55 plus lakh. Why unified data matters? There will be no duplication. It will be easy for the government as well as for the farmers. That's it. We have finished almost 20%, 25% of economic survey. Drivers of productivity. The second thing what economic survey is saying is productivity need to be increased. How? Increase the area under cultivation. That is how you will increase the productivity. Another thing is provide more resources for the farmers. That is second way through which the productivity increase. Increase more area, provide more incentives for the farmers. So there is farmers income committee. It had identified improve yields, increasing cropping intensity, increase cropping intensity, multiple crops per year, promote high value agriculture. That is how farmers income can be increased. Cropping intensity, either increase the value or multiple crops, improve crop and livestock, directly focus on how they can increase yields, high value agriculture, promote horticulture, promote the floriculture which get more value for farmers. Shift from cereals to horticulture or livestock. But we need to do it carefully, otherwise there will be less supply of food grains again. Government response, implementing interventions across inputs, technology, income support, market access, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana for insurance, large scale program with dedicated budgets, monitoring and accountability. These are some of the incentives all state governments are taking to increase productivity throughout India. Okay. So how we can increase productivity? Either increase area or increase incentives. Incentives should be in the manner to increase productivity. Incentives should be in the manner to increase yield or productivity or to increase cropping intensity. Cropping intensity need to be encouraged by providing timely seeds, irrigation, harvesting, storing the prior crop, kharif, rabi crops, encouraging them to sow at multiple seasons. Area expansion, productivity enhancement, already we have discussed. So operational components, the economic survey highlighted other things apart from this. Integrated pest management, showing best practices for the farmers. There should be farm field schools. Many farmers don't know what crops should be in the pairs. If I am cultivating one food crop, there should be some other oil crop or some other millets. Yes, what is it called?
I did not.
You didn't hear. Okay. If I cultivate both the different crops at the same time, what is it called?
Intercropping.
intercropping can be encouraged, and farmers don't know the intercropping. So farmer field schools, evening time free schools for the farmers, so that they know best practices. Okay, states are doing it, but not all the states. Southern states are doing it at a better way. High yielding varieties need to be distributed. Seeds, hybrid seeds for cotton, bt cotton, maize, biofortified varieties, nutritionally enhanced seeds like vitamin A, like vitamins infused in the seeds itself, to develop fortified rice, to increase the to address nutrient deficiencies in people. Fortified rice, that is one of the incentives the government can do. Other one is nutrient management government should do with respect to NPS, organic biofertilizers. Biofertilizers can be living organisms, can be wastage also, that is coming from fruits and vegetables. Soil testing and micronutrient supplements. We are focusing on macronutrients, urea, nitrogen, phosphorus. We import lot of diammonium phosphate also from other country. You might have studied before. So micronutrients are also essential. Pest management, integrated pest management, natural pest enemies. So we need to encourage pest enemies like birds in that crop where they eat the mosquitoes. Okay, natural pest enemies can be cultivated within that crop area to destroy the pests which is harming the plant saplings. Resistant varieties, genetic resistance varieties to pests and diseases, GM crops basically. Water saving technologies need to be encouraged, alternating wetting and drying for rice. So that is one is which will not use so much of water. Land leveling should be done so that water will be observed in the same manner. Capacity building need to be done. Exposure visits for farmer training, extension services. So government, what strategy needs to follow for productivity? One is crop management, improved inputs need to be given, nutrition management, pest management, water saving technologies, capacity building for increasing productivity. Basic things. National Food Security and Nutrition Mission. It is there in 2007. It is renamed as National Food Security and Nutrition Mission. Significance for renaming is nutrition is part of the mandate. Coverage are cereals, rice, wheat, pulses, commercial crops, and there is millets also, which is called as Sri Anna. Okay. National Food Security and Nutrition Mission. Initially, it is National Food Security Mission in 2007 to increase production of different crops so that food can be provided under PDS, Public Distribution System, because food is the right to food is there under Article 21. Okay. Food needs to be provided. Oil seeds mission, before we discuss this one, National Mission on Edible Oils. Edible oil mission is lot of oil seeds will come under it. Traditional oil seeds widespread across India, yield improvement, area expansion is the basic aim of this. Then there is National Mission on Edible Oils. Oil palm has separate because they are focused on only in some areas, rain shadow areas, especially palm. There is plantation establishment, processing mills, technology needs to be there here, and it will take longer period of time to produce the harvest, that is gestation period 5 to 7 years for palm fruits to be there, to come out. It requires sustained support, but other oil seeds are not like that. Groundnut, sunflower, soya bean, mustard, sesame, these also need to be cultivated apart from food crops. So target production is 70 million tons of oil seeds by 2030 to 2031. Oil seeds need to be produced, then processing of that seeds is different. Currently how much? 30 to 40 we have. It means we need to double the oil seeds production in 6 to 7 years. The focus interventions of government are this National Mission on Edible Oils, Oilseeds and Oil Palm. Mentioned in the survey. Whatever is mentioned, we are discussing. Not mentioned, we are not discussing. So area increased under oilseeds, production increased by 55%, productivity also increased. Area more than doubled, concentrated in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Karnataka. Fresh fruit bunch production, sharp increased. It is for it is for palm oil. Okay, that raw material increase also have taken place. Crude palm production also has increased, processing capacity expanded. These are some of the positive improvements we can see. You can't remember even if you write, but oilseeds production increased, more than doubled. We are focusing on 70 million tons oilseeds production, doubling it by 2030 to 31. And there is 2 national support missions on oilseeds and oil palm. So domestic availability, if we see, 86 lakh tons, 23 to 24 it is 121. It is increased by 41% growth. It means 35 lakh increased. 35 lakh tons increased in a span of a decade. Share of imports are also huge. Before 63% decreased because increase in the production here. 56.25, 7 percentage points reduced. We are still importing, but import percentage reduced. While imports still dominate, domestic production growth has moderated. Okay. Despite rising consumption, rising incomes, increased processed food use is also one factor for increased demand for oil. Okay. So remaining, the challenge is 70 million targets. 70 million target for 70 what? 70 lakh metric tons, 70 million tons target by 2030 to 31. Annual growth must accelerate further. Faster technology adoption, better irrigation, competitive pricing versus imports. Imports are cheap, and if production cost is huge, farmers will not be incentivized to produce more. So we can impose import duties on them so that domestic production can be increased. They'll have another alternative also compared to food crops. Processing infrastructure expansion. These are the basic points with respect to oilseeds, how to increase their production and reduce import dependence. We are importing oilseeds. That is what we need to know. Strategies to achieve target. Current national average is 1200 to 1500 kg per hectare. Productivity in the oil seeds, how much productivity is coming per hectare across oil seeds? 1200 to 1500 kgs. We can increase it to 2000 to 2500 by technology adoption. For sunflower, mustard, hybrid varieties. GMO mustard is still controversial, but engineering appraisal committee is not approving it for the commercial use. High oil content varieties need to be cultivated so we can extract more oil. Good agriculture practices like follow seed treatment, optimum plant population, spacing oil production, timely operations, integrated nutrient management, basic practices can be done so production can be increased. Private sector participation in the case of oil seeds also important. Custom hiring centers, technology, cluster based interventions, high potential districts need to be identified, like rain shadow regions is where oil seeds get cultivated more. Intensive extension services, advisory services, infrastructure creation, processing, storage units, collective marketing, FPO led aggregation, farmer producer organizations. So overall, whatever we can do, we know all these are common for every food grain, but we need to support in all areas. Assured procurement, MSP must be there, providing price floor, like basic price that Commission on Costs and Agriculture Prices will decide. Government agencies will purchase at MSP, NAFED and state corporations, and private organization also can procure through incentives. Okay, that is with respect to oil seeds. Then with respect to irrigation, per drop more crop. Subsidy structure, 55% financial assistance will be given to small and marginal farmers with respect to whatever they, suppose if they are buying sprinklers, 55% financial assistance will be given. For other farmers, 45% financial assistance. Coverage is drip and sprinkler systems. How much progress achieved? 41.7% of gross cropped area. Irrigated area is, gross cropped area means static land. Irrigated area is 55.8. Increase 14 percentage points over 21 years. It increased, irrigated area increased, but there are disparities across irrigation, across different crops. For rice, irrigation, water availability, wherever is water availability, people are cultivating rice. Generally, it does not mean people are allocating more water for the rice. It is not that way. It means people are, whatever available, people are using that water for rice. For wheat, it is 90% canal intensive. Pulses, people are not using. Millets, predominantly it is rain fed. So there are interstate variations also with respect to irrigation. Near universal irrigation, eastern states 30 to 50 coverage. Rain fed regions are less than 30%. Where there is no water, there is no irrigation. That is why we are talking about interlinking of rivers. Expanding irrigation in lagging states, crops is the urgent priority. Return on investment on water body rejuvenation and surface water storage exceeds other public investments. That is explicitly stated in the survey. So water body rejuvenation and surface water storage exceeds other public investments. Whatever government has invested on this, the return on that is huge. Suppose if government is doing market linked incentives or allocating money on that, and if it is allocating money on water, return on water storage infrastructure is huge. It is doing more benefit to the farmers. So we need to focus especially on pulses and millet zones in order to provide water. They also require water. Yes, they are grown in rain-fed zones, but the irrigation needs to be available for those zones as well. The nutrient imbalance program, already problem. For 30 years, nitrogen phosphorus balance has always been in the news. 2009 to 10, farmers used to use the ratio of 4:3.2:1. That is near ideal. Right now, economic survey is talking that 4:2:1 is the ideal ratio for farmers with respect to NPK. Right now, what we are using? 23 to 24 year. 10.9 is to 4.1 is to 1. This is the ratio at which we are using a fertilizer right now, which is very, very high. Urea subsidy creating price distortion. Urea subsidy means what? Nutrient based subsidy means generally for potassium and for phosphorus, rather than giving subsidy on whole 1 kg of phosphorus, how much ever nutrient is there in the 1 kg packet, active nutrient of phosphorus is there, for that government is providing subsidy for a farmer to buy from the market. But urea, what is happening is, farmer will directly go to company to buy urea. Okay, as I have told you before, company will sell at a very less cost, that is 1 rupee or 2 rupees, let us say, and farmers can buy 10 kgs or 20 kgs. There is no limit, and company will go to a government to get the money, and lot of this urea is again industrially shifted for industry also at the same time. So there are many loopholes there in the urea supply for the farmers. So it leads to environmental damage, economic inefficiency, because lot of resources are shared for this, soil degradation, existing. So what are existing measures? Nutrient based pricing is there for phosphorus and potassium. We need to bring that for urea. It is still nutrient based scheme is not there for urea, because most of the urea is nitrogen itself. That is one constraint naturally we have. That is why we didn't go for NBS. And moreover, Indian farmers rely on urea, which is a macronutrient compared to diammonium phosphate or potassium. Neem coating of urea is the measure that started few years ago for controlling excess urea or increasing the absorption, but reduces diversion to industrial use, because companies are diverting whatever is available. They are taking more funds from the government without selling it to farmers. So government is focusing on neem coated urea where it is not useful for industries. Aadhaar linked point of sale verification. Suppose if farmers are buying, digitally track it. Integrated fertilizer management system for tracking where the fertilizer is there, how it is sold, need to be tracked. Problem with current approaches, this measures improve distribution efficiency but don't alter the fundamental price signal. These all things will allow companies to sell fairly to the farmers, not to divert the urea to other purposes. Even farmers not further sell to industries. That also can be possible, like with neem coated urea. But price signal for what farmers receive is also very important. We did lot of these things to avoid diversion. But what we need to do further is, we need to decouple. We need to go to acre based support. That you need to write in the notes. Acre based support. We need to shift from production based support to acre based support in the case of urea. You need to shift from production based support to acre based support. Listen. It is decoupling income support from fertilizer purchase. Decoupling income support. Decouple means before income support is given for fertilizer purchase. WTO is already saying that India is giving more number of subsidies. It is not in the green box subsidies. Okay? So we need to decouple it. We need to remove it from the income based support. How we will do it? Listen, income based support means directly giving money to the farmer. Now what we do, instead of doing this, as I have told you before, go buy only 4 kg. In a particular area, there will be a limit. Based on area, type of soil, type of crops they cultivate, there is a limit. Suppose if a farmer, because every data, there is e-governance, technology, farmer will show how much land he have, which is linked with Aadhaar. And every year, the fertilizer is allocated to him. 2 or 3 kgs will be allocated to him if he just have 1 acre of land. Okay? And farmer need to get that much only. He can't buy 10 kgs or 20 kgs. Okay? And he needs to go and buy from the company at a market rate. Instead of buying at 2 rupees, buy at 300 rupees. That 300 government will send as a direct benefit transfer to the farmer's bank account, so that there will be no excess usage, and farmer will also think about the wastage. Okay? So it will increase the price of urea, transfer equivalent amount directly to the farmers, zone and crop specific calibration. What kind of crops are cultivated? What is the zone? Based on that, see, there is soil health card scheme. What the purpose of the scheme? What is the fertilizer required for every type of soil? That will be ascertained before. So I think you understood. So there will be behavioral change, there will be efficient use, there will not be overuse, there will be low input, farmers benefit. So net income gain can happen. Especially pulses, oil seeds, farmers in the rain-fed areas. So low input, it means farmers will use less of that input and the money can be diverted for these other subsidies that the government will give. Restoration of NPK balance can happen. Increase soil organic carbon. If more is available, more acidification happens. Soil organic carbon means the carbon which is naturally available in the soil because of decomposition. Whenever there is a decomposition of a plant, what will happen? There will be bacteria which will decompose, and most of the dead matter consists of carbon. Carbon should be huge in the soil rather than more amount of fertilizers or chemicals. If more fertilizers or chemicals are there, it leads to less carbon. Enhanced root development, better water retention. Retention also can happen. Carbon is there, water retention happen. When water or moisture is there, what will happen? Stress resilience, heat resistance will increase. Yield response improvement. Each kg fertilizers producer more output. Total fertilizer quantity can eventually reduce. Per ton grain input requirement falls. Obviously, that is the purpose of doing this. OECD also outlines the benefits of doing this. Okay, and it can cause a long-term crop pattern changes because of if so much is not available, farmers will try to divert their thinking to other crops which requires less nutrients. Now what is happening? Every farmer is growing same that paddy, rice, wheat. This market distortion is the main issue that will address. So digital infrastructure is available. Aadhaar linked fertilizer sales can be done. PM Kisan platform is there for that. Seasonal alignment. Transfers before planting season ensures liquidity. So transfers, it means the money which they are going to buy from the company need to be given by the government even before the planting season. It is not first you buy, then later I'll give. Okay, so that they'll have money. Then tenancy issue, renters cultivate but owners receive land-based transfers expected to adjust through rental market over time. Tenancy heavy districts recommended. So renters, see, land-based owners receive land-based transfers. It means the whatever schemes are available, the PM Kisan Yojana, Kisan Sampada Yojana, they are giving DBT. DBT is given to the farmers who own the land. But renters also need to get some amount of money for cultivation. So we need to adjust that also. It is not just based on land and land titles we give money to the farmers. How tenant farmers will get, because they are the real farmers who are doing agriculture. Okay, that needs to be addressed in all the programs. Zone specific benchmarks. Rice field belts legitimately use more nitrogen than rain-fed cereals. Transfer amounts reflect more agro-climatic differences. See, encourage where there is discourage where there is heavy usage. Reduce some amount on where it is not used. Give different amount of money for different places to either increase the usage or decrease the usage. Phased rollouts, start with limited agroclimatic zones first, calibrate, start with some few areas. This is a suggestion of economic survey. Almost all the schemes are done like that only by the government. They start in a few areas, they scale to throughout India. So see, this is with respect to food processing industries. Food processing industries organized manufacturing employment contribution 12.91%, among the largest employers in the manufacturing. Agri-food exports, like food processing, in that sector there is employment. Okay, so export performance, total agri-food exports increased, processed food share also increased with agri-food. I'll discuss this again. What we have is soil health infrastructure management scheme. Soil health cards issued, national soil mapping program, national one soil unified information system, that is a digital platform integrating soil data. National soil mapping program is a village level soil resource it maps every village and what soil is there in the every village. The data will be put in that portal or inventory of the data. It supports sustainable agriculture and crop planning. Soil health cards are issued directly to the farmers. National One Soil Unified Information System, it is a digital platform for all the data. Soil land use survey. The survey is done across 39 million hectares. Digital soil maps produce. Fertilizer challenge. Despite infrastructure, fertilizer use remain inefficient due to price distortion favoring nitrogen. So other fertilizers are not being used properly. Nitrogen is being heavily used. So that is some of the incentives national wide we have with respect to soil. These are 5 different things with respect to soil. Credit access and regional disparities. Commercial banks are there, RRBs are there, cooperative banks, small finance banks, microfinance institutions. There are lead banks also, district level coordination for agriculture. Priority sector lending, how much is there? 18% of agriculture. 18% of priority sector lending is there for agriculture. Okay. So it is a mandatory target for the banks to give 18% of loans for agriculture and allied activities. Then Kisan credit cards, Kisan credit card scheme is there. Operative 7.72 crore people, 10 lakh crore money is given for the farmers. There is modified interest subvention scheme. Interest rates are reduced 7%. Subsidized interest rate is 7%. Before it is 10%, 3% subvention is given by the government. Prompt repayment incentive. Whoever repays, see, in the insurance scheme, Fazal Bima Yojana, in the insurance and also in the Kisan credit scheme, farmers repay in the first year, additional 3% of interest subvention is given. In some schemes it is there. Okay, so effective rate will be 4%. Whoever repay in the first year. Subsidy disbursed is 1.77 lakh crore. Direct subsidy is given to the farmers in the whoever take the bank loans. Kisan Rin portal that is launched in 2023. It is streamlining MISS, interest subvention. Scheduled commercial banks, regional rural banks, state cooperative banks, district central cooperative banks, farmers, these are providing loans under Krishi Rin. Farmers, 5 crore plus farmers are covered. Duplicate or excess claims flagged, total claims processed, like duplicate. Many farmers are trying to get multiple loans from same loans on same land from multiple banks. Leakages prevented. Total claims processed is 37,506 crore. Money is released. It identified loan accounts per farmer. They can't take multiple loan accounts and ask different loans for different banks. Ensure subsidies for productive loans only. See, if the farmer is taking, different family members will be there, they have different bank accounts on the same land, they'll be taking multiple loans from different banks. This is eradicated with respect to Krishi, with using Krishi Rin portal. It strengthens financial discipline. It is just like NPAs we say with respect to banking sector. Here also that problem arised. Okay. share of gross cropped area, share of PM Kisan beneficiary, share of KCC. There are disparities how they are working. See here, if we see central region, central states has gross cropped area 29.5. PM Kisan beneficiaries are highest in the central area, central states like Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, okay, Chhattisgarh. These states are central states. Bihar. Despite highest agricultural activity, massive credit gap exists in the central states. In southern states, what is the analysis? Overall, over-indexed on credit access relative to agriculture scale. They are taking more credit, but they are not that much productive. Taking more credit, southern regions. Okay. So their Kisan credit is huge. Their cross cropped area is less. Here cross cropped area is huge, land is huge, but loans they are taking is less. What we have, credit gap is there in the central area. In southern area, their land is less, but southern states they are taking more loans, more agriculture loans. Okay, for different purposes they use. It means what? They use not just for agriculture. They take agriculture loans, divert it for different purposes. Northeastern region, 2.9%. Analysis is severely underserved. Traditional credit infrastructure is very weak. PM Kisan beneficiaries 2.6. Relatively, their gross cropped area is itself is less, but loans also what they take is less. Western region is not there in this slide, but Western region they are relatively at a better level, like Western states. Central region needs aggressive KCC expansion despite high beneficiary registration. Bank infrastructure gaps, awareness issues are present. Northeast requires alternative models because they are not going for the loans. There should be SHE bank linkage, microfinance institutions and partnerships so that they invest more in agriculture, which is private investment in the agriculture. Okay, they don't just rely on government. If they are not going for bank, SHG bank linkage can happen, which was there in India before. But right now it is not working because SHG's bank linkage have become like microfinance institution have taken over it, increased so much of interest rate. Banks are not directly giving loans now for SHGs. Before, farmers used to form a group, go for bank. There used to be NABARD in between. NABARD used to give support. Okay, NABARD take the money from the bank, or in between the banks based on NABARD assurance used to give loans for the farmers or SHGs. Now what is happening? That bank linkage has broken. Now the middle MFIs, microfinance institutions, private organizations, companies have come. They are giving at a higher interest rates. That is when a lot of farmers did suicide also because they can't repay the small loans. Do you remember? So like that. Artificial insemination with respect to livestock. So that breed can be increased. Goats, sheep. There is national bovine breeding program also. They are increased compared to 2017 to 18. Districts with 50 plus AI coverage are artificial insemination coverage is 126. Overall, breedable bovine females increased from 25% to 40%, 60% relative growth. Benefits are superior genetics will come, faster genetic improvement than natural breeding, and they provide multiple, there can be bull, it can be sheep, it can be anything, but it will encourage what? Income for the farmers in rural areas, especially women focused. This program is. Natural farming principles, zero chemical input, synthetic fertilizers or pesticides. That should not be there actually. Reliance on Jeevamrut, Bijamrut, mulching and crop diversity. Okay, seed treatment is Bijamrut, mulching is soil moisture conservation, crop diversity, microbial culture using cow dung or cow urine, can be used rather than fertilizers. Reduced input costs. Zero budget natural farming is there is no input cost, soil health improvement, premium prices, organic certification. So if they need to be certified within natural farming, organic farming is one thing, zero budget natural farming is another thing. Climate resilient, but they still are costly. See, if farmers are selling according to APEDA, Agriculture Processing Export Development Authority, what it says is, if you are exporting agriculture goods, if they are organic, I will certify. Certification costs will be there. Even FSSAI, Food Standards Safety and Security Authority of India, says even the agriculture products which are organic need to be certified as organic, which will increase the costs in domestic market plus also in the exports. So what are the challenges for sustainable agriculture? Small coverage, still very less people are doing organic farming. Limited quality inputs, biofertilizers, organic inputs, seed availability is less. Uneven adoption, okay? Uneven adoption. Extension services, there are gaps. Market linkages, again for organic products, only urban elite are buying at a huge cost. Even in the urban areas, only few people are buying organic products. Consumer demand is less. Adoptability is still less than 2% of cultivated area. Uneven adoption, only early adopters versus mainstream farmers. Like in few pockets like Andhra Pradesh, people are cultivating it as a niche agriculture, but massively people are not going for it. Okay, risk perception is huge. Still HYV seeds are available. Productivity is good in that seeds, guarantee is there. Market linkages, certification headaches, all these things are making the adaptability of these seeds and agriculture low, which is zero budget or organic farming. Yield concerns, initially yield will not come, over a period of time it will come, so everyone need faster benefit whatever money they put. Okay, so these are some of the constraints. PDF will be given, so please read it in the detailed manner. Organic farming incentives were Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. Coverage is all states except that of Northeast. Cluster-based organic farming will be encouraged here. Input subsidy, certification and marketing will be done by the government. Then there is Mission Organic Value Chain Development for Northeastern region, for Northeast. That's why it is not there under Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. Geography is only Northeast. Northeast organic farming tradition will be cultivated, that is recognized. Value chain will be created from production to market. It's not just cultivating, we need to market them. Okay, so that are two different schemes with respect to organic farming. Clear? This is one scheme, this is another one. PDF will be present in the website, in the Prelims Compass of sosin IAS website. There is Prelims Compass section in the resources tab. All the summaries of economic survey chapters, PIB, important schemes, reports is present in that tab in the sosin website. Please access those and read the summaries after listening to class. Natural farming promotion. Bharatiya Prakritik Krishi Paddhati is a natural farming program, and it is present under Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. It is based on indigenous cow-based farming, Gau Vigyan. Okay, Bharatiya Prakritik Krishi Paddhati. National Mission on Natural Farming is also there. It is the scaled up version of Bharatiya Prakritik Krishi Paddhati. The budget is 2,500 crores. These are some programs there with respect to organic farming. So what are the achievements is what is highlighted. Clusters established under this, covering clusters means which areas are organic farming, encouraging these clusters, pooling all the farmers who are doing organic farming, making them into clusters so that we can map where these farming is going on. Bioresources centers, they need to have separate biofertilizers, bioseeds. There need to be incentives for them how to do it. So resources centers will give inputs for the farmers. There is model demonstration for 1800 plus farms that is done under this national mission of natural farming. Community resources persons were trained, farmers enrolled are 16 lakh, farmers sensitized for organic. Sensitized means, okay, there is something called as organic farming, you can do it. Okay, it is like encouraging, making them to know, outreach. Certification, online natural farming certification system is given for, under this system 6 lakh farmers registered under to get organic farming certificate. Access to premium markets for organic and natural produce. Incentivizing them to do, linking them to market. This is the idea behind all the schemes. Research and innovation. In every area, oil seeds, pulses, food, different types of food grains, there needs to be R&D. Even in health, education, one point it should be regarding R&D. Okay. Competitive research grants, encouraging people who bring new kind of seeds, new kind of technologies, people who created their own processes under natural farming, certifying them or giving them money as like not scholarship, like giving them grant who created or new kind of invention. Many farmers from Andhra Pradesh got grants because they created their own farming techniques within organic farming, which is with zero cost, and many farmers can adopt that. They are being an example. So that is one thing that is encouraged here. Food processing industries. Yes, employment, share of organized manufacturing employment in the food processing industries is 12.91. Largest employers within this food processing industries. Then export performance is total agriculture agri-food exports that are coming from food processing industries is 11.2% of total exports come from food processing. 11.2% of total agri exports come from agri-food processing industries. Okay, food, that is processed food within agriculture food is increased. It means people are buying more processed food. This processed food comes from food processing industries only. Okay, so it means our country has moved to, rather than sending raw materials like potato, tomato as export, now we are sending some processed food like ketchup, which can be increased by value, which can be stored for more amount of time, which is not perishable. Okay, there is value addition, there is income for the farmer. Production, these are 3 schemes. Please see the website. These 3 schemes are given in detail in the website. Prelims Compass, Ministry of Food Processing Industries. In that, the schemes are discussed in the details. The difference between these 3 schemes were also discussed in the detail, but I'll tell you an outline of these 3 schemes. Production linked incentive scheme for food processing. Whoever wants to process the food, farmer producer organization, the government will give incentives. Bank loans can also be incentivized under this program. PM formalization of micro food processing enterprises. Under this, mega food parks will be created. Food processing will be encouraged from end to end under this scheme. There are slight differences you can see in the PDF. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana also talk about the farmers go for high value added crops and also go for this food processing incentives. Okay. That are 3 schemes very important for the exam. Please see the website. There is long PDF of scheme with respect to food processing. Primary agriculture cooperative societies restructuring, that is, traditional cooperative societies are for single purpose, mainly credit. I told you I'll explain later, right before. Limited services, only credit will be given. What economic survey is saying is reform model bylaws, permit more activities by PACs, primary agriculture credit societies. Traditional, it is only credit or input supply. Now, storage, warehousing. Bring cooperatives together, create more storage and warehousing facilities, give them for rent for further farmers. Income generation can be done from that also. Processing, retail, fuel stations, public service delivery, dairy collection centers, custom hiring services, fair price shops. Convert this primary agriculture cooperative societies. Who are cooperative societies? Farmer themselves forming a cooperative societies in order to get more credit from the bank or somewhere. Bring these credit societies into multiple activities where their bargaining power can increase. Okay? And they can do multiple things rather than for credit. Very important. PACS computerization project, that is, funding is given for states and also to NABARD by the government on early recruitment, on ERP software, live and operational PACS. Live and operational PACS means which are functioning. On ERP software means the PACS which are digitalized or technologically integrated. 18,000 PACS project in milestones are 18,000 PACS, and this project has been started in 2024. Digitalize primary agriculture credit societies, that is the thing. Universal cooperative presence plan, that is another incentive for cooperatives. Multi-purpose PACS. This is what multi-purposing of PACS is, rather than only credit. Dairy, fisheries, in that sectors also. Credit societies, agriculture credit societies can be involved in dairy also. Across all panchayats need to be done. The progress is nearly 18,000 new cooperative societies were registered. Every panchayat needs to have a cooperative presence. Under that, local level collective institutions should be created. Village level service access need to be given. That is universal cooperative presence plan. Everywhere there should be cooperatives. And these cooperatives should not only be credit based, they should also be multiple sector based. They should also be doing multiple activities, not just with respect to getting credit or giving loans for each other. That is not just the main purpose. Tribhuvan Sahakari University, very important in economic survey, highlighted many times. To strengthen cooperative movement, it is announced. The cooperative management education. This university talk about how to manage cooperatives, how to sustain the momentum of cooperatives in India. Dairy cooperatives can be encouraged, livestock cooperatives can be encouraged. Okay, there are dairy cooperatives. Amul is a dairy cooperative, no? Different food sector cooperatives can be encouraged. They can be connected to market. So capacity building can be done. That is, cooperatives are also part of DPSP. So create an institution that will honor all these cooperatives in the rural areas. So there is it is in the cooperative movement context. Okay, so there is policy research, professional cooperative managers can be created. It can also give training for people in the cooperative movement. Universal cooperative presence plan, this we have discussed. The procurement efficiency paradox. right now we have come towards end. Procurement is not being done properly. Most of the procurement is in MSP. MSP is given to the farmer. Food is taken from the farmer by Food FCI, Food Corporation of India. Especially rice and wheat grown faster than food security requirements. Persistently high buffer stocks increased, but it will raise lot of storage, handling, interest and stock rotation. Savings from improved stock management could fund agriculture productivity investment. So whatever we have saved by, if this would not have been there, we would have been importing the goods. Whenever there is whenever there is less supply in the market, what FCI will do? Float that excess stock in the market so that price will be even. We can actually cater to more demand so that inflation will not be more. So whatever the cost that is saved, whatever the money that is saved by doing all this, let us invest that in the other areas to fund agriculture productivity investments. Whatever revenues that FCI is getting, use that for different purposes. There are dependencies for us. Import reliance is more. Pulses, heavy imports periodically, sometimes it reduces, sometimes it increases. For biofuels, livestock feed also we import. Better aligns farm support with changing consumer patterns. So don't give more MSP only for rice and wheat. Change the MSP for these also. Give more money for these. Reduce some money for rice, wheat, so that balance will be created in the market. National self-reliance is Atmanirbharta in pulses. We already talked about that. So food security architecture needs to be there in the intact. So this does not mean we are focusing towards edible oils, pulses, does not mean we don't protect rice. That is, food grain is very, very important. Without that, we can't even imagine India to be there, right? Most of the people are dependent on that. Okay, but this also need to be encouraged. That does not mean we are sacrificing our food security. Okay, balance. These are not food, no. What we need to do? Physical procurement. That is one. MSP, FCI will do. Phase 2, what is it? Mixed model. Price deficiency payment. Whatever market is giving, if you are selling to market, the balance will be DBT to the farmer's account by the government. That is price deficiency payment. Assured offtake mechanism through FPOs and private contracts. Private people will take the produce from the farmer at a government fixed price, and they take the money from the government. Okay, so farmer producer organizations, apart from these ration shops, even FPOs can collect the food. Phase 3 is market led with safety nets. Private investment in processing, storage. Government should be acting as market stabilizer. Income support should be decoupled from production. Decoupled from production. Before we have talked, how much ever farmer is producing, don't sell a fertilizer based on what amount he is producing. Shift it to how much land he have. If he have 1 acre, 1 kg, or let us say 10 kgs will be enough. How much ever he produce, because fertilizer is not based on the production, it is based on the soil. How much soil is there, how much land is there. For the soil you are giving a fertilizer, not for the crop. Okay, so from production decouple the support and shift it to acre based support should be given in the case of fertilizer. Did you understand? Income support decoupled from production. Remember that. Fiscal savings reinvestment. Infrastructure for oil seeds, maize, ethanol, distilleries, because biofuels should also be encouraged. That does not mean that food crops need to be sacrificed. If biofuels are there, productivity will increase, money savings will be increased, and fuel costs will reduce because of bioethanol production, biofuel production. Public-private infrastructure partnerships can be done. Agriculture infrastructure fund is there. Under that, people can take the loans for creation of these infrastructure like processing mills, ethanol production plants, private sector investment, and this will encourage farmers to produce more oil seeds also, more pulses. There are different types of biofuels. There is biofuel policy 2018, 1G, 2G, 3G, food crops nunchi vache biofuels, non-food crops biofuels, this bacteria, this what is that? Algae based biofuels are also there. So different types of biofuels are there. That does not mean that farmers will discount on food crops. There should be balance. So knowledge support should be created. Agriculture universities, Krishi Vigyan Kendras need to be there. Farmer demonstration. What they do? They help farmers. Krishi Vigyan Kendras. There should be food security protection, automatic adjustment of procurement to the buffer norms. Strategic reserve should never be compromised. PDS operation should never be uninterrupted, so that if we do all this, then we can be WTO compatible, which we will not violate any norms of WTO. Diversification, supported structure as area based payments, just now we discussed. Decoupled from production, linked to sustainability. What WTO says, government is giving more direct subsidies to the farmers. That is not fitting in the amber box or green box. Not production distorting. See, most of the subsidies which the government is giving is production distorting. They are saying MSP is production distorting. Why not give more money as MSP for oil seeds, so that they can encourage oil seeds? Give less money for agriculture. It means not drastically less money. Again, it will lead to a lot of disputes in the states, because states are being the main areas of agriculture. Then there is politics. That is the reason why there are no farm laws that are taken away. Okay. Do everything in a pilot basis. Refine it, expand it. Okay. Monitor all the things. Continuous monitoring is required. Then only we can do our agriculture in a better way. That's it regarding agriculture chapter. Thank you. We'll meet in the next session. Industries.